Okay, yeah, my roommate, I'm pretty sure at 84, is just like my father and only cares about himself in that aspect. At a certain age, they get like this. But it's something much, much more than that. Now, I've been having trouble getting into the doctors for years now. I've been begging for pulmonary department. They've done very little testing, and the testing they have done has been showing some results, but not, I mean, like seizure. So we had that on a brain scan. We have visible injuries, falls, head injuries. We got black urine coming out of the body, kidney pain. We got GI, stomach damage, esophagus damage, nervous system problems, all these. And I've been spending 11 years trying to go to doctors, having to wait. And I'm wondering why the hell it takes so long just to get into the doctors. Meanwhile, my roommate gets all these appointments and he doesn't seem to make them. I don't know what the hell's going on. I write it on the calendar for him. I remind him for 3 days in a row. Hey, on Friday, you got an appointment at 11. Hey, tomorrow, you got an appointment at 11. Hey, tomorrow morning, I'm going to remind you about your appointment. You should call them today or tomorrow morning just to make sure you know what you're doing. Hey, wake up. Yep, it's morning time. I'll deal with the ceiling collapsing. I need you to call your doctor and deal with the nurses and make sure you're ready to make your appointment. Okay, great. You know where it is? Good. You called them? Great. You did it? Okay. Guess what I just got? I just got a phone call on the line. Now, I do have permission to speak to them, and they didn't give me much information, and I'm not going to be an asshole about it or nothing. When David comes home, I'm just going to pass on the information and let him know what he's doing. The information is he missed his 11 o'clock appointment. The truck came to pick him up and bring him to his doctor's. They actually came to pick him up at the house. He didn't even have to take the bus. They literally were right out front waiting for him. I told him a million times to make this appointment. Call. Talk to him. I dialed the phone for him. I did everything but go to it for him. I did every damn thing. And he's the only one with a real doctor while everybody in this household gets sick. I get sick. Raymond Christian III gets sick. The cats get sick. David's getting sick. And none of us can get any medical care thanks to the fucking country I live in. I can't get any help no matter how sick I get. But David has a good doctor in Boston. They're giving pulmonary referrals. They take it seriously. He has good insurance. So he's able to get the actual appointments, the testing done, all that. But he just wants to play games. He wants to go smoke. Right now, he's at the goddamn cigarette store buying a pack of cigarettes, smoking a pack of smokes. Meanwhile, his appointment he just missed. The ride just came to pick him up. And I asked him 30 minutes ago before he left, no, you shouldn't go out. You have an appointment to do. And he said, no, I did it. I said, oh, you did you? He goes, yes, I did it. He goes, I did it over the phone and we changed it over to something else. I said, oh, so you did your appointment though. So you got to get your testing done and all that. Yes, because you need that for the mold. If you want to live here and get what's yours, you're going to need to prove that you're really sick, David. And my doctors suck. So it's very easy. Just get some paperwork. But now I find out he's missed all 4 appointments that they rescheduled in the last 6 months. He hasn't made a single one. And they even came to the house to pick him up. They literally came all the way to our house to pick him up and bring him there. Something I don't get. If somebody picked me up, I would already be better. If I got the treatment that this guy's getting, that my father gets and this guy gets, if I was able to do that, I would already be back to work. I would. If I just got the medical treatment that these old fucks literally just skip out and let other people wait. Literally, she just told me on the phone that they have to make other people wait to get David these new appointments. I said, I understand this. And so you're telling me David rescheduled or missed his appointment and you guys gave him one right away, moved him right up the list, and then he missed it again and again and again every time you moved him up the list, right? They said, yes, we had to bump other people down to move David up. This is the problem. You got an 84-year-old who's getting the best health care, who doesn't even want it, getting bumped up the list, missing an appointment, getting bumped up the list, missing an appointment, getting bumped up the list, missing the appointment, getting bumped up the list, missing the appointment. They're even picking him up at his damn house. And then you got sick people with diabetes, missing feet, working at Walgreens that are literally walking a mile to get to the bus stop, then taking a bus to their appointment, literally having the shittiest insurance on earth. And what has David done to deserve this better treatment? And not only that, the guy who waited 6 months to get in for his kidney failure, he probably could have just waited 3 months if people like David weren't being bumped up and missing their appointments. But see, you got a lot of assholes out there, and if you were born before 1950, you're in the special treatment class. That means that you are specially treated. Even if you're not on retirement, there is a special department where people get treated better, and that's okay. But you got a lot of people getting hurt young now. I've seen people as young as 12 getting sick from our environment and choices of other people. I've seen everything from kidney failure to cancer to asthma to increase in allergies to people getting seriously hurt, smacked, drugged. I mean, the amount of shit that's going on today, you can't tell me that a guy that's missed 4 appointments in the last year, that he's getting bumped up the list, he clearly doesn't want to make them, means that you should take somebody who's waited 6 months and bump them down. So you can move this guy in so he can cancel again and cancel again and cancel again. It makes it super freaking difficult for anybody else to get help when you got other people playing games. They say they want an appointment, but then they don't show up. Then they say they want an appointment, but then they don't show up. Because they come from a generation where they think that healthcare is willy-nilly. See, if you were born in the 1950s, you didn't have as many health hazards. You had lead paint. You had a lot of like stupid things that made your brain stupid. So yes, there was a lot of people getting very stupid in the 1950s from the hazards that have, yeah, intelligence, like lead paint. And there's still people getting sick. There was still hazards. There's still disease. Don't forget there's a lot of cancer diseases in the walls. It's still very hazardous. People are still getting sick. But the paychecks are different. The equality is different. The wages are different. The system is different. The doctors are doctors. The nurses are nurses. The teachers teach. The doctors doctor. The nurses, clean out bedpans and actually listen to the patients and write it down on a clipboard. Do you think any of these nurses are even goddamn listening to their patients anymore? Most of them not. Some of them do. Do you think the doctors are really trying to figure out what the patient is talking about? No, it's push pills. A lot of it is all fucked up now. But the older folks, expect older school treatment. They don't expect the new way where you just get fucked up the ass. Old people won't stand for that. So they call and cancel. Like I could never. The stuff that my roommate just pulled, I would miss one appointment and they wouldn't let me come back for a year. I would have to wait a year or two if I miss one appointment. My roommate, they give him 4 appointments in a 6 month period, bumping other people off the list down. Oh, this guy is 36 years old and has lung cancer. Well, we'll bump David up. He's 84. We'll make David come in now, and the guy who's 36 with lung cancer, he can get bumped down. That's fine. I understand that you guys have priorities, but if somebody is missing their appointments for a good 60 years and they obviously are not good at taking care of their health and they obviously aren't really concerned at their health, they just need to take care of stuff, and to get certain stuff they have to do this, but they don't want to do it, but they want the paperwork, they want proof, so they have to do it, but they don't want to do it, so they just don't show up, and they think that they'll just give them another appointment in 2 weeks because that's the way it was. Yeah, you don't have to wait a year to see one doctor and then wait another year and spend only 5 minutes in the doctor's office. Old people won't put up with that. But I walk into the same place and it's totally different. With not just me, I've seen it with just in general. I mean, I'm a good example because I'm 31, but with my health issues and with my mother lying to doctors and the drugs and the medication and the seizures and the shakes and the stomach issues and all that, it gets a little confusing with my case. But if you look in general, the doctors coming out today are not prioritizing correctly. It's whoever pays out the best. See, my roommate and my father, they have insurance that comes from retirement and the little bit of funding from the federal government and taxpayers. Yes, they had to put money into it, but the money they get back is way more. The amount that healthcare you get back in America is way more than they take, believe it or not. Taxpayers have to ship the bill for a lot of that. Same thing with Social Security. When somebody's disabled, we have to flip the bill. I'm surrounded by people on social disability, Social Security, who have anxiety and PTSD and stuff like that. Meanwhile, I got PTSD, anxiety, ADHD, some type of neurological disorder that I need treated, seizures, head injuries, lack of ability to walk at times, lack of ability to talk at times, lack of motor function, lack of movement, lack of ability to write, shortness or lack of reading. I can't read properly all the time. I guess is the way I can read, but I can't read, whatever. So you got a whole giant list with me of real physical and PTSD and anxiety are mental, and so does ADHD. So you've got all that. Yet the guy driving a car doesn't have to work because his daddy paid for a lawyer and he told him that he has anxiety. Just anxiety. Well, how can you drive? God damn, if you have anxiety, don't you have anxiety that you're going to hit a car? Don't you have anxiety you might hurt somebody? Don't you have anxiety? No, the guy's calm as a leaf driving. The guy is calm as a leaf in stores. The guy is calm as a leaf. He's on anxiety. He has anxiety. Great. So they give you some anxiety. Okay, if you want to be on Social Security for anxiety, and you think that's okay to do for your son, if you are a well-off family with money, if you think hiring an attorney and getting your kid Social Security at the age of 31, what the guy driving me home is age 31. He has anxiety and PTSD, just some of the mental stuff, no physical. He drives fine, he walks fine, he talks fine. He's very intelligent, very religious. He makes good decisions. He's very strong. That guy needs to be on disability for the rest of his life, and he doesn't have to work. And his father will help him out, and the family works with him. But a guy who's missing a couple toes, a guy who has 10 physical disabilities and 3 mental ones, a guy who was locked in a basement and tortured and then had needles injected into his neck, or the guy who fell downstairs and hit his head and now has seizures and for the rest of his life and can't talk properly or walk properly, or the guy, those people, they don't need it, right? They don't need it. Just the people who are wealthy need it, right? Just the people that can afford a lawyer. The guy with disability, the guy with diabetes at Walgreens that has anxiety. He's missing a couple toes. He's just about to have his foot removed. He's overweight. He has diabetes. He has blood sugar spikes. He gets dizzy, falls down. That guy doesn't need it though, right? The guy who's been working all the way to age 43 and now he's missing limbs. He has multiple diseases, and all he did is exactly what his government said: eat this, eat this, eat this, eat this, eat this. And he did that. He ate that. He ate that. He ate that. What's wrong with that? You didn't tell him that he was going to be diseased and be losing foots. Not no, not when he was growing up. And even if they did, you got other government officials and corporations telling you, eat more, eat more, eat more. And the chemicals, preservatives, and extra sweeteners, people don't realize how much sugar isn't just in a regular Cheerio or your regular bread. When you buy Hostess bread, you're not buying bread. That is not bread. Bread is bread. Hostess or all those other product breads that you think is bread, if you read the ingredient list, is not bread. It's conditioners, it's fillers, it's things that make it spongy, it's preservatives, and then they add a shitload of corn syrup and sugar. Yes, one slice of the new style Wonder Bread white, pure bleached white, is mostly made out of just like cellulose and sugar. Like that's all. It's mostly sugar, cellulose, and a bunch of fillers to make it not go bad or make it fluffy. And then they bleach the crap out of the grains too, taking all the nutrition out of it. You think they explained that to this guy, that if he bought Wonder Bread versus artisan bread, then he was actually going to have a shitload more sugar in his diet? And if he made a peanut butter and jelly and bought Skippy peanut butter, jelly, and Wonder Bread, then that's basically a sugar pie. That is basically 100% sugar. Yes, if you eat white, pure Wonder Bread, extra white Wonder Bread or whatever, and you put jelly from the cheap aisle, grape cheap jelly, the stuff that's just basically artificial flavoring and sugar, and then you buy the Skippy peanut butter, what again is like 40% sugar and corn syrup, and then there's a little bit of peanut powder in there, but it's mostly oil and sugar, and you put it all in a sandwich, and you eat that. You're just eating a sugar pie. That's just pure sugar. Do you think anybody explained that to him before he was working at Walgreens, losing his toes, feet, fingers? He has all these different disorder, health issues, and he's what, 42? He's falling down at work, dying, literally coughing up blood, but they keep on bringing him to the hospital, then telling him to go back, work at Walgreens, go back, work at Walgreens, go back and work. 7 years it took this guy ever to get off his feet. He literally lost his apartment and had to live homeless before they gave him Social Security. And he had to live there for years. He literally tried to keep his job. He was in and out of Walgreens for years. How do I know this? I worked at that Walgreens. Then I didn't work at that Walgreens, but I stopped by it. And I always asked about him because he was one of the hardest workers. There was a blonde lady that looked like she was from the streets. She ran the place. Then there was him, who was always willing to push the carts and do the shit that nobody else wanted to do. And then there was me, always doing what I'm asked and always doing the bathrooms and things every single day. Nobody else ever did the bathrooms but me in the whole months. And that's, if you think about it, everybody's supposed to take a turn doing the bathrooms. It's in everybody's job description. But instead, they pick the disabled and poor people and just have them. Okay, you're some street woman, so we're going to have you just run the whole store. The manager is going to be in the back watching the camera eating candy bars because he comes from a wealthy family. He's 23 years old and has pimples all over his face. So he's going to watch the cameras all day and eat a candy bar. You're actually going to manage the store. And the other manager that's only 21, we're going to transfer him out. So the woman who's about 50 has lots of experience, but she's low income and basically lives in an apartment right downtown Lowell. It's cheap as hell. Her, we're going to have run the store. The guy missing toes that's about to miss his foot with diabetes, heavy set, we're going to have him push all the carts around in the back and do the cooler. Oh, well, that's heavy work. That's heavy lifting. Why is he doing the cooler? And Zach, the kid who works a disabled school, work the school program, we're going to have him do all the outside sweeping and the bathrooms and all the stuff that nobody likes to do. And then all the spoiled, the girl with beautiful long hair, black, age 23, with big lipstick lips. She is going to get to stay in the back most of the day, just hanging around with the manager. Oh, and the other guy and manager that are young and come from wealthy families that drive good cars, they're not going to do no toilet. They tell them, no, I'll do the register if anything, but I'm not doing that shit. I'm on register. And then you got a couple more stalkers that are back there, but they've taken their time listening to music. They come from a wealthy family. Anybody else puts on music or tries to do that, no, you got to hear the customers. But nope, this wealthy person listening to music, nobody cares because this is a wealthy family person. Meanwhile, the lady who lives in the apartment, age 50, and works hard, she's going to get yelled at all the time. The kid that comes from a disabled school program, we're going to work him on all the hard work. And then the guy missing toes that's also disabled, we're going to have him do all the heavy lifting. What the fuck is going on? I've witnessed this at company after company where there's disabled people doing all the hard work, and then these wealthy little brats go on Social Security or sit and watch a camera and think they're special. This is all up and down the chain. It's wrong. It's absolutely wrong.